I'm early today. Um, I think I need to be live before merlindru joins. So I thought I'd just go live first. And then we'll just get it going. I'm also on Discord, just in case. Just in case. But yeah, I actually don't know how to do this, but we'll figure it out together. We've got an hour, and we might fail, but that's all right. That's okay. Um, yeah, I was actually in the Dioxys Discord. They have a office hours. It's pretty good. But I had to leave because I have my own thing now. I don't know. The amount of things like live things that I know that are happening now, I'm kind of like shoot, like everyone's doing so much stuff. It's like it's almost impossible to like keep up, you know? Yeah, it's a bummer. But yeah, maybe that's the thing. Maybe you just don't keep up, right? There's just so much stuff. Um, yeah, I never go to Reddit. This is crazy. I can't believe this is a thing. I almost forgot about Reddit. What's the? Yeah, there we go. It's hard to read, even with the non-compact. Um, yeah, but I thought this was interesting. It's like different Rust frameworks and stuff. Oh, okay. Wait, hold on. Oh, merlindru. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, the mental zone. I'm gonna make you want to use Wind. I'm gonna tweet this one too. I think because you're not gonna make me want to use Windows, but we're I'm gonna see if we can get some hype a little bit. I'm gonna do like, oh, your mic is, oh, my mic is too quiet. Okay, hold on. There we go. It's if I turn it like I barely have to touch the dial, and that's why because like if I crank it, it's like it gets way too loud. So yeah. Um. Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna unpin this. I think. Right? Do I unpin? Can you barely touch it? I only had one cup of tea, so I'm like not as I'm not like super like I usually have 2 cups of green tea before at this point. Or I'm like drinking tea like while I'm doing it. Um, but yeah, I actually quit coffee again like a week ago, or like 5 days ago. So yeah, low energy. It's Friday, let's see. I'm gonna unpin this, and then I'm gonna tweet. I'm gonna rip the Primogen and just like, what does he do? Those stupid alert things. There we go. Okay, you picked up. Oh, decaf. Man, I thought decaf was bad for you. Like like the process or whatever. I don't know. I don't know. I watch. I sometimes I can't separate like conspiracy YouTube from like normal everyday YouTube. Yeah, like I thought the decaf process was like I thought it was like, oh, like it's worse than actual coffee. I don't know. I don't know. I totally forgot what I watched. Like it just stuck in my head. Like someone thought that decaf was worse. Okay, let me think. Let me think. Okay, rest versus go. Or maybe I should leave with go. Right there we go because it alphabetical. Let's hop in a call just to make sure it works. Okay, okay. Let me see. Let me see. Um. Okay. Wait. Do you want to? Do you want? Let's try Twitch guest star. I guess first. No idea. How to do that, or we could just go straight to Discord. Oh, I have to actually do this on my other computer. have to do something on the computer. Hold on. Okay, let me get this going. Okay. And I'm using Chrome, so nothing can go wrong. Let me get the chat back up here. Let's try Discord. Okay, then you can screen share. Okay. Discord. I am signed in over here, but that's not going to help me. I just realized that. Shoot, I don't even know my Discord email that I used. Oh my gosh. Okay, give me a second. I gotta like go the whole password manager and like do all this. What a bummer. I'm gonna miss passwords when they're gone though, and it's all passkeys. And then we'll young people will be talking about, oh, like remember passwords? Let me see. There we go. Yeah, you used to have to like type in your email and a password. Okay. Okay, let me okay, let's do. Oh, you know what? How do I get Discord to use my actual camera though? I might have to jump off. Oh shoot. Yeah, let me see. Input device default. Freak man. Yeah, I might have to. I'm not actually sure now. Oh, that's right. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Oh, that's true. That's true. That's a good point. Okay. All right. I was like, what? So if I start a video call or do I start a voice call? Can you upgrade to a video call? Oh my gosh. Wait, why is mic access denied? What's going on? Hold on. I know my mic. Yeah, I'm muted. But I'm also hold on. I don't know like for some reason I might have to call you back. I don't have I think oh, you know what? It's probably cuz I'm like guest Chrome. Let me make a new like thing. That's annoying. Uh okay, hold on. Yeah, I can hear you. I know it's like multiple things. Hold on. Hold on a second. Okay, hold on. Here we go. Let me sign back in. Okay, I'm gonna call you back. Okay, let me close this. Okay, here we go. Okay. Oh, geez. Okay. Yeah. Wait. Instructions for enabling your microphone. What, dude? How do I? Oh, I have to go to Chrome settings. Okay, hold on. I'm like doing Discord in the browser, so yeah, I can. I can. I just I just thought it'd be easier. Let me see. Where No, that's horrible. Let me yeah, how do I Oh, here we go. Oh, microphone. Oh, perfect. Okay. Um allowed to use your mic. Oh, it says Discord's allowed. Okay. I think I have to. Oh, probably cuz it's used by OBS. Is that what it is? I'm not sure. Here, maybe we'll do this. Okay, let me unmute. Oh wait, nope. Microphone. Okay, I have to download. Discord. Jeez, what a bummer. Okay. Wow. Okay, hopefully this will work. Oh my gosh, get out of here. Get out of here. Okay, let me see. I know. I don't even like look at I just get depressed if I look at the numbers, so hold on, let me see. Okay, okay, I have Discord now. Oh man, what a bummer. Okay. Discord has to install like 5 up. Okay, here we go. All right. Let's let's start one more time. Okay, access the microphone. Okay, perfect. Okay. Okay, let me see if I can use my actual mic though. Can you hear that? Does that sound better? Okay. Yeah, let me Yeah, that's good. That's a good point. Let me Oh no, I can do it with OBS, I think. Let me see. Let me turn this off for a second. Cuz I think I can turn off the local Mac audio. But I think I can, yeah, I have monitor and output. There we go. Okay, so now, no, it's still muted. It's still muted. Hold on. Okay, now try it. Shoot. Uh, yeah, maybe I can, there should be a way though. Hold on. Maybe local Mac audio is not the one. Um, oh yeah, that could be it too. No, it is. That is true. I will say that is one point to Windows. That's an actual point. That's an actual point. Let me oh, the what do I turn this up? X-Man lives. What's up? Yeah, like hold on. We're still trying to figure this out. I'm actually let me I can probably I should add if I add a screen capture in OBS or yeah, can I just do I think I can do screen capture. Maybe? Oh no. Oh wait, display window. Um yeah, it's probably like OBS right now. Okay, that's Discord, right?
Well, now we see Discord on stream. So this changed what's. How are you gonna hide it?
Um
Oh, there I am.
I was trying
There
to
I
show
am.
you. I was trying to
Oh,
show you.
yeah. Okay. Sorry, I haven't had tea
Here,
either.
it'll pop out. It'll pop it out. Yeah, let me do a different window. Oh man. I think I'd probably have this problem even with even with even with guest star or whatever, right? I'm pretty sure. Cuz I
Be like Twitch joining together the two streams.
Oh. Yeah, it's possible. Hold on. There's some That's all right. We got an hour to figure it out. Let me see. Or actually, we have 50 minutes to figure it out. Let me hold on. Let's see. What do I? Oh, is this Discord item 0? Maybe. Oh no, that's nothing. I don't know what that is. Oh, let me
Wait, could
show.
you show your OBS settings on stream?
I could. Um, what is that? Oh, that's nothing. That's my finder.
Badge thing, isn't it?
Oh, here we go. Yeah, but it's weird because I don't see the video.
um, do you have the like video player popped out? Because I saw it just a minute ago. If you hover over Discord, does it?
I had the video player popped out.
Oh yeah, if you've got yeah, there you go. Now we can
Oh,
see.
oh, now we can see. Okay. Okay, so
Yeah, if
now I
you
can
pop it
actually see
out,
you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But now we can't hear you though, which that's what I need. What if I
test
do like
test test test.
audio input capture? Maybe if I add another one. Let me try.
I
I'm just.
was able to hear myself
Oh,
just
were
now
you?
on stream. I
Oh, heck
think.
yeah.
Yeah, but the audio quality is really bad. Hold on, it's not using my correct mic. I think. Uh, yeah, give me a sec.
Um, Hold on.
There we go. Is that better in terms of my quality?
It sounds about the same.
Okay, that's not good.
Oh, wait, that might sound a little better.
Wait, I didn't. What? I did not check. Okay, hold on. Give me a sec. Something's up right now. Okay. Um.
Let me
Oh.
do. Oh yeah, I'm doing audio input. What I really want is like audio output capture. That's what. Oh, let me change my stupid. Oh, hold on. I know what to do. Yeah, I want to actually include. No, I don't want to include the speakers. I probably just want to include the head because I can hear you, and it's weird because I have that here as audio input capture. Oh, I have it as the other max audio. What if I just did black hole? Then we could probably hear you. Okay, can we hear you? Can try again?
Test test 1 2 1 2. Are we
Oh,
good? No, are we
that
good?
mic is so much better. What the heck? That mic is way
Yeah,
better.
but it's really loud, isn't it? Give me a
Oh
sec.
yeah, there we go. Hold on, I got you. I have it now. Okay, I have it now.
Okay, dude.
Okay,
Okay,
now
I'm
we can
hearing
hear
two
you.
of you right now. Give me a sec.
Okay.
There we go. Yes, there we are.
Yeah,
But we still can't see it. I think you have to like if
yeah.
you
I have to
pop the
click it
player
again.
out.
Yeah, it's so annoying. Okay,
That's weird.
it's super weird. That's Mac for you. There we go.
Wait,
Now
so
we
you
should be
agree?
able to see you.
Yes.
I do agree.
All
I do
right.
agree. Hang on, I
All right.
wonder
All
how
right.
I
All right.
can. It'd be sweet if I could like. Now that we've done this, now we're really gonna try to like. Now we're really gonna hide members. There we go.
Oh yeah, that looks good. Okay.
Okay, let me. Oh, but it'd be even sweeter if it was just you floating. You know, no windows or no Chrome. I mean. Okay, let me
Mm,
put you over here. There
Maybe
we
you
go.
could.
There
Oh,
we go.
now the thing is gone again. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's
Wait.
back.
So does that mean every time you focus a different window, it goes blank?
Yeah, but I'm not gonna touch it. I'm not gonna touch it. That's on the other computer.
Dude, okay, okay, okay.
All
That
right.
is weird though. Why would it do that?
All right.
Okay.
It only took us 15, 13 minutes, right? What, 13, 15?
You're never gonna have to do this again. Like it's gonna be smoother from here on out. You're gonna get a Windows computer. It's gonna work.
Oh
It's
my
gonna
gosh.
be like
Get out of here. All right. I'm not gonna get a Windows computer. Okay, let me tweet it. Let me tweet it. Okay, for back end, but also Windows too. I don't want to say that. That's confusing. All right. Okay, let's just tweet it real quick. Oh, I have to say, I almost forgot that. Wait, what happened to the other emoji? What the frick?
what? Yeah, Twitter's editor is messed up ever since they added the like
Oh, there
bold
we go.
and italics.
Yeah.
stuff.
All right. Okay. Anyway,
There we go.
all right.
All
It
right,
took
let's go.
so
How's it
long.
going? How's it going, dude? How was your day? Tell me about it.
Yeah, it's still pretty early for me. My day hasn't really started, but also because I'm
Wait,
like pretty lazy too. I don't wake. I wake up pretty late. Um, but yeah. What about
same
you?
here.
Your day's almost done.
Dude, okay, so I'm pretty lazy as well, so there's there's not a lot there. Let me be straight. But it was barbecuing with friends. It was really nice.
Oh, that's cool.
Um, though then it started raining. We got super like everything just, and I got the hell out of there. Ran to my PC, turn on the stream. Can't miss it. Dude, your stream quality has been going up lately.
With stream
Um
quality.
no, just like I've only recently started watching your streams,
Yeah.
but every single stream has been more interesting than the last. So
Oh,
keep up the
nice.
good work, dude.
Okay, sweet,
Keep up the good work.
sweet.
I also love the Dioxys stuff you do. So uh as for Rust versus Go, I'm not 100% sure if I can still like I can definitely say a lot of things against Rust and a lot of things for Go. It's not like there's a lot of stuff that I don't think Rust gets right or that are just too complicated for the, let's say, average programmer. Me being probably average, so it's too complicated for me. I'm just not that smart. Um, and there's a lot of things Go gets right, so I can definitely argue a side. But here's the big thing: this whole like Rust versus Go thing started for me really. I mean, I was aware that there was discussions and people were trying to compare the two languages, even though Rust is more like from a low level background. Um, the whole thing started for me because I'm trying to rewrite an API for a project I'm working on right now. And we're using JavaScript in the backend. I'm like mainly a TypeScript or a JavaScript dev. And like there's just no way around, like there's no way you can do proper error handling in JavaScript. There's always something that could throw, you don't, in some cases you're not even sure what's being thrown, right? They might just throw a date object or a string or whatever.
Yeah.
um so I want like a more robust language, and I think both Go and Rust are more robust in that aspect, like in terms of throwing and exception handling, because they don't have exceptions. That's a good thing about it.
Definitely.
But but when I tried Rust, I was met like with an awesome type system, but also a huge wall of complexity. When I tried Go, I was met with it's so simple, right? It's the awesome language. You just get shit done. It's the ultimate get shit done language. But you like it's sorely lacking in some regards. Like you have uh, if I go from Rust to Go, I'm really missing enums. I'm really missing like an option type or something. Like people do option types in all sorts of different ways. There's people doing like the null pointer dance to denote what's an option null or what's not. There's people just doing like checking for empty strings. So I can argue for both sides totally. Um, it's just up to you what we do here in the like today. Um, we can also just go straight ahead and get you like indoctrinated into using Windows. No, I'm seriously, I'm really, so if you can't tell, I'm really frustrated with Mac OS, having used it myself as a first timer for like 4 months straight. Um, so I'm all about like the stream. I'm all about both of those things. Whatever you want to go for first, I'm completely open to suggestions.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, but that's it from my side. So
I didn't actually know that people were trying to do option, like I didn't know there was even a, like an effort to like try to like recreate options in Go.
I mean, depends. If the what do you say you're building an API wrapper, right?
Yeah.
And the API you're calling has like, I don't know. Take this for example. Give me a sec.
Astra Kernel, by the
Not
way,
sure if
what's
you
up?
can. Oh,
Sorry, I was
yo,
just talking in the
Astra,
chat.
how's it going,
Yeah.
dude?
Meme Supreme over
Take
here.
For example, where we at? This API right here. Oh, dude, I don't have a good example. Okay, forget it. See, point is you're trying to build an API wrapper. Your API takes in some optional, like can represent either a default state, like the API you're calling picks it when you don't like when you don't provide the field, or you can set it to true or false. What do? You could either, if you're just choosing a boolean, well, then you essentially have to pick something, right?
Yeah.
There's only true or false. If you're going with a null pointer, with a pointer that could be a null pointer as well, you have like the potential to fuck up, the potential to essentially break your program in some way. Maybe somebody, I don't know. And the other way would be like an option type or an option struct or a maybe struct. You can build that with generics now, but it's definitely like it feels hacky, and it's not like nobody else use. If everybody tried to use an option type, they would either all have to use a package, or they would all have to like build their own option type, and then nothing's compatible with each other, and you have to typecast like all the way, and it's not gonna be nice. Does that make sense?
Yeah. It sounds like
So that's
it sounds like Rust errors though, right?
right, but with Rust you still have the result type and st, like
That's
the result trait
Yeah.
in the standard library that like most libraries are compatible with, and Go doesn't have that. So
That's true.
if you're using any like sort of library, it's compatible with anyhow. Because most libraries are compatible with anyhow, just because they all implement the result trait from the standard library, and all of those like is any can cast anything back to that standard library
Yeah.
result type thingy.
Yeah.
In Go, there's no such thing, so you're gonna just have to make do with whatever the library gives you. Really.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. But it's like it's weird. It's like I wish we had a language that was like garbage collected like Go, but had Rust's result option types, right? And everything, like enums, everything except for the borrow checker. Right? Like if
Yeah.
we could just do that,
Everybody's screaming for that language. Like it's honestly, I think, just a matter of time before some company does it, because I've heard this suggested so many times now. Every like Primus said it. He just wants a lighter Rust, and there's that notion of lighter Rust all over Reddit and Twitter. At some point, some company's just gonna do it. Maybe, I don't know, like Go could even be that language, but they'll have to heavily change the language itself, or
yeah.
like the philosophy behind the language to make it work.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing it's not going to be Go, and it's probably not going to be Rust. It's going to be a new language that's somewhat like Rust. It takes those same great ideas around the type system, enums, and whatever algebraic data types, but just slaps a GC on top of it and calls it a day.
Yeah.
Probably gonna be it, right? I mean, if we're honest.
Yeah, that's true. Like I basically like everything in Rust, but yeah, if I could just have an optional GC, like that pretty much sell me on it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same here. I mean, you could always just slap arc or RC on everything.
And I already do that.
But I mean, that's just gonna perform worse than Go, and it's also gonna be a worse dev experience. So it's like if you're into that sort of thing, you could totally do it. But yeah, the problem with Rust I'm having is that it just fried my brain, honestly. Like the first, it's not so much about not me. Like I know the language now, I'd say, for like to an extent at least. But when I tried to use it for reals, like the first time around, not just so when I learned it, it always was this dance for it was this dance like learn something about it, get totally fed up with how it works, too complicated, leave it for like a week, come back the next weekend and go, oh, that's how that works. And I've seen this exact like phenomenon be repeated like by other people. So I'm not alone in that regard, I think. But it's gonna be like hard for juniors to get going with it. And if I'm talking about like business or developing for a corporation or whatever, um, it, I'm not sure how easy it's going to be to hire people that know Rust and don't just like that would actually work on a Rust code base long term, where it's not just like shiny object syndrome. I want to work on something in Rust in like 3 months. I'm gonna get tired of it and not bother with it anymore, or move on to another like non-legacy Rust code base, work on my new Dioxys app. No offense, like I'm your app is great, but it's also like how much of it is shiny object syndrome,
Yeah.
and how much of it is like I actually want to work on a Rust code base for a long time and maintain all of that, not just write it, but also like improve on the code base. I think it was Prime who said, like the Primogen who said, it's easy to go from like 0 to 1 with Rust, but from 1 to 100, it's way harder than Go, or something like that. I'm not sure.
Uh,
So that's
yeah.
what I'm worried about. That's like
Yeah.
my biggest worry, I guess.
Yeah, I actually wonder like what. Yeah, that does apply to all. That's true. It does apply to all languages. But I actually wonder like what did you see that going back to like the how easy it is to learn Rust? Like I wonder if it's because Rust is so different like that we're having
Yeah.
having trouble mapping our like existing language mental map like onto Rust. Or like if you
Mm,
started with Rust, like if your first language was Rust, that sounds crazy,
yeah.
right? But like maybe it's not. I don't know. Like if that's your only like entrance into programming, maybe you'd be
Mhm.
like, yeah, this makes sense, right?
I've had a so Astra he said the quote I just said was actually in relation to Golang. So he said like going from 0 to 1 is uh easy in Go and Rust, but going from 1 to 100 is easy in Go and hard in Rust, or something like that.
Yeah.
So sorry, I missed the context there a little bit. But yeah, so I've had the same thought. Like, are we just all pretty much like a slave of C? Are we just infected? Like, it's the whole dev experience nowadays really just based on C,
Yeah.
and all of the bad stuff we're dealing with, like be it null pointer exceptions, be it um like some weird core dumping issues, memory corruption, whatever. Is that all just coming from C being a crappy language and most people like inheriting? Not saying it is. And most languages just going, oh, let's do that as well. I mean, C is doing it, so can't be that bad, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I mean it's definitely possible. Like I mean, I will say like I did not common list, but I did closure for a while and like it also
yeah,
has nulls and that didn't really help me at all.
mhm, yeah,
But I also like I'm looking at OCaml um and OCaml like the ML like ML and Lisp are like they're just two sides of the same coin. Like one is typed, one's not typed. Like one's dynamically typed, one's statically typed, right?
yeah.
And so it's like I don't know. I see what you're saying. Like it seems like in the functional programming world, they don't have the same problems that we do, you know? I don't
Yeah,
know.
definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, that is
No,
interesting.
I get it. I just don't think it's good. Like we shouldn't be having these problems, right? It's so Rust is a language that in to some capacity solves them.
Yeah.
Solves those exact issues without being like as hard on the eyes as maybe, I don't know, F sharp or OCaml or whatever. Not saying like they're hard to grasp or whatever, but they're out there in terms of familiarity.
Yeah.
And that's also why I don't think a lot of people like want to learn them, because popular languages get popular. It's that vicious cycle of everybody's everybody knows JavaScript. People who want to get into programming are probably going to pick up JavaScript nowadays just because it's the language that has like the most resources. That's the easiest to get you a job with. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm
That's
kind
right.
of hoping Rust becomes that language, because then I don't have then I don't have that problem of, oh, how hard is it to hire a junior anymore? Like if everybody was just using Rust, then everybody could be happy. But we just
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, it's true. Like, if you're new, it's gonna be JavaScript or Python, right? And like, it's always
yeah.
in software engineering, it's always worse is better. It's so annoying. And like, I feel like Rust is like a worse is better functional programming language. Like, that's how I
Mhm.
feel about it. So I don't know. I thought Rust could like, it could really take off because of that. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I mean, in terms of Go, like Rust to me feels like a superset of Go, right? Like there's Go, and then like Rust, like it comes in and like it does everything Go does, but like even more, right? And
I
well,
can
except
see
for the
that.
Go
Yeah.
routines, it doesn't have that. But
Well,
but I
I
mean,
mean, Tokyo's like spawn function is easy enough.
it's true.
It's more like syntax, but in terms of if you just clone everything and wrap everything in an arc, it's not that different from Go. And the most important thing to me was that, like in typical Rust fashion, it's way safer to do whatever coroutine stuff you want to do in Rust than it is in Go. Like in Go, you have to remember to use a mutex. When I was a Go noob, I didn't use a mutex. I got weird errors all over the place. I suddenly, like, my program broke. It actually, I'm not sure if this is true or was true or if I'm dreaming things up, but I think Go panics if you try to mutably, like if you try to change a slice from two Go routines. So it's not just unreliable in data terms, it actually like crashes your program. Um and that's when I figured out that concurrency is hard, and I don't want to like check all of those things in my head. In Rust, I like mutex is a box, right? You can't get to the actual value without locking it.
Yeah.
So that makes Go a whole lot easier because you can just use the value, but you have to keep the things that Rust does in mind. So I'm slowly becoming like, as time goes on, I'm becoming more of a Rust fanboy. But whenever I try to actually use it, I feel like Go is just that much more productive. Like maybe I don't care that I have to remember, right? Maybe just having like function calls and for loops be all that my program is made of is way easier than having tons of different ways to abstract and 15 methods to unwrap a type and arcs and RCs and boxes and cows and whatever. Like, what are animals doing in my program, man? I just want to send some data across coroutines or whatever. What's it called?
Yeah, I
See,
that is true though.
it,
Like, the first time I saw a copy on Reddit, I was like, "What the heck?" But yeah, I like honestly, if Rust had like easy allocators like Zig, I would probably get me halfway there to like a full blown GC. Like, I'd probably be like, you know what? Honestly, like Bumpalo is like that, right? It's like you put all your stuff into the thing, and I would love to do that like per request. Like every request that comes in, like I can just allocate and then deallocate at the end of the request. Like that would be so nice.
see, and what did Go do? It added arenas.
Yeah,
Okay, it
yeah,
it added that exact
that's
thing.
true.
It's like Zig memory allocators, exact same thing. What did they also do? They said it's unstable. They're not gonna promise it's gonna be kept.
Yeah,
it They might just remove it. They just basically gave us like the solution to all our problems, and then said maybe not, maybe not, guys. Dude, come on, please give me arenas.
wait.
That's all I want. It would literally replace Rust from, well, most of. I see the mutex thing is still true and stuff,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
the type safety. But in terms of performance, that would make Go like as viable as Rust for even like high performance stuff, for I don't know, game dev, for forex trading. I don't know what you're into, but
Could
you
you
get the
imagine
point. Like
writing game
it's
and Go?
good for 99% of use cases at that point. If it actually had like proper arena support.
Yeah,
Yeah,
enums.
enums. We've talked
Yeah, we
about
talked about
enums.
enums. Yeah, it is. I mean,
So how's it going?
yeah, that is true though. Like, honestly, yeah, it's such a bummer. Like, I feel like we're almost there to like the perfect language, but like it's like bits and pieces from all over. Um,
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's a bummer. Um, look, we want to talk about Windows.
dude, we could. Okay, okay. Hear me out. Hear me out. I was a Windows boy like all my life. Okay, all just I ever since I was in like my Pampers in the cradle. I got my first PC pretty much, um, and last like in February this year when the new Mac Mini M2 launched, I got that one just because I thought, dude, the things Apple has been doing in terms of like their M2 or their M1, their Apple Silicon line of
Yeah.
processors, basically. That's absolutely insane. And it got here, the Mac Mini, right? I plugged it in. I got all the special cables I need because I couldn't use the cables I wanted to. I had to use the Apple cables, right?
Of course.
Um, I plugged all of those in, and dude, that thing was lightning fast and silent. The fan didn't even turn on. It was like perfect. Um, then I tried to use it with like a high refresh rate monitor that I still had 2.5K. Turns out you can't use a 2.5 like a QHD monitor with macOS without everything being like literally super blurry. It's either blurry or anti-sized. You can choose, but you can't have like a sharp. It doesn't let you allow to like it has to be a multiple of 1080p
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
so that sucked. So I had to get a new I had to get a new monitor just for this computer. That's fine. That's fine. So I tried to use my mouse. Turns out I can't use my regular old mouse I
No.
have
No, you can't
with
do that.
macOS. No, I have to get either an Apple Magic trackpad or my MX Master or whatever.
Look, what's this right here? What's this? That's it.
What's what? What's
This is a
what? I'm sorry.
trackpad. You need
Oh
the
yeah.
magic
Okay.
trackpad.
Okay. 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 That's the trackpad. Yeah. See, and with the trackpad it works, but I'm a mouse guy. I can't like I know it's gonna be great with a trackpad, but I just want to be able to use my mouse.
Yeah.
Okay, so new monitor, trackpad. Okay. I want to use my keyboard. I want to use my keyboard, right? Specifically, I want to use Alt keys. I'm very used to, if you know, like Helix or Cocoon or whatever it's
Yeah.
called. Um, those use Alt keys very heavily.
That's true.
Turns out you can't use Alt keys in Mac OS because if you press Alt and A, for example, it's going to print the alpha sign.
That is
Or
true.
if you press Alt and E, right. So to disable it, I go to settings and pick a new keyboard layout that has those. Oh, wait. There's no keyboard layout that doesn't have the fucking Alt keys assigned to something. How? How is that possible, right? So turns out I have to go to an online tool somebody made that creates a new, I think it's JSON or XML or whatever keyboard layout, download that, go into like the operating system files, add a new layout or replace an existing one, um, and like change and go back to the settings and change my keyboard layout to that, and that's how I got all keys to work, and that's when I decided I might have made a mistake buying this computer. That's when realization hit me. I just might have spent $1,000 on the wrong thing. There's like tons of these little like the actual premise of the computer was to me that, or like of Apple was, okay, I'm gonna plug this thing in, it's gonna work, and it's gonna do its job. Like it always advertises itself as being easy to use, right?
That's true.
A great out of the box experience, and I'm paying like Apple users are paying a premium for that, and it just wasn't it like it was the absolute opposite of a great out of the box experience with Windows. I got a new Windows computer after a couple months, very recently, and I just plugged everything in and it started working and it was fine. And that's what's really frustrating to me.
Yeah. I mean, the way I got around that alt thing is I have a huge Alacrity config because I only use it in the terminal, right? So I have a huge like terminal config that like remaps alt to all the Helix shortcuts to what it should be. And like that's what I did, which was a pain. But I found like a bunch of them in a GitHub issue. I copied and then from there I just kept like adding. So
right,
yeah,
but
I
it
know
was
you're
a
saying.
pain, right?
It was a pain.
It was still something you
yeah.
had to do, and that shouldn't be like they could just add a toggle setting for the alt key, add a different keyboard layout. There's painful stuff you have to do in Windows as well, but not as painful as this. And I'm used to Windows being like Windows costs, I don't know, you can get keys for relatively cheap, and I don't have that expectancy of, okay, I paid a premium for this and I want it to work. Like, I'm fine with it being a little clunky here and there. Turns out it's not as clunky as macOS. Like, I personally just like it better, also in terms of design and animations and things. um and I'm also paying less, so that was like the experience for me. If you want to, I'm not sure if you can pull this up on stream. I made a tweet a while ago that summed up like my that just summed up, or
Linux
like
Mint.
listed all of the things, in case I forget, because sometimes I'm like, I absolutely hate using this, and then after a while I go, wait, maybe it wasn't so bad. I go back to it and I remember, okay, it was bad. It was it was that bad. um
All right, what was it? Do you have a how long
yeah,
ago was
I'm
this?
gonna DM
Oh
it.
my
I'm gonna DM
gosh.
it.
This remix though. All right, hold on. I have to actually like select something else to like get the thing. So you're gonna go
The
there for a
remix
second.
are, dude, okay, I'm gonna be honest. The remix I did mostly for attention. I'm not gonna but it also was like, it actually was fun. I think it was mostly like banter between friends, right? And they reacted well to it. So,
Okay, let's see if I can do this now. Yeah, every time I deselect the window, you like go away. It's the dumbest thing.
just vanish into the void.
That's another Mac OS problem. Okay, let me see. Could be a skill
Esther,
issue.
get out of here with Linux Mint. No, we're talking Windows versus Mac OS. Go versus Rust. Team Red versus Blue.
Oh, this is it. This is like
The
oh,
good
this
guys
is like
versus the
a
baddies.
this is like an essay. This is
Yes,
crazy.
I was, dude. I got really fed. Like, I got fed up to it to a point where it's probably like all in my mental. It's all in my head. But
Yeah,
I got
so
up.
the mouse thing is real though, because like the only time I've ever gotten, I had a Logitech MX whatever, and
Yeah.
that has a little dongle that you plug in, and like it's a
Hmm.
proprietary, and that's how it worked. It worked pretty well, but like I know what you're saying. Like you either
Like, you
need,
can't.
yeah, you can't just like
It's
yeah,
just so dumb that the default, like the default, it wasn't like, okay. There's two problems to all of macOS. The defaults are bad, and sometimes you can't even change the defaults.
yeah,
Like, the mouse scroll, like the scroll wheel direction is inversed. If you scroll
that's
down,
true.
it goes up,
That's true.
and you can change that in settings. That's fine. Back buttons you just can't use in
Yeah,
all macOS applications.
yeah,
Mouse acceleration you can't disable unless you go into the terminal. And just stuff like that, like minor things that add up to bad stuff.
yeah. Like Mac OS, like it's not. It used to be like a developer's like dream, but I know what you're talking about. It's definitely backslidden from the 2000 to 2000 like 2015 was probably like the last good year where like Mac OS was like, oh, like this is good for developers. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, and like Windows definitely like the snap to edges thing is really cool. But yeah, you do. Dang, this is yeah, this is interesting. I don't even think about all this stuff. This is so bad.
Because I didn't either. I honestly, like, I bought this computer going in with like, oh dude, this is gonna be awesome. And then I hit the first roadblock, which was the monitor thing, right? And I finally got the new monitor. Um, and I thought like all my problems were solved, and then I hit another thing that I had never even thought about. So it doesn't really get in your way unless you like when you hit it. That's when it annoys you.
Yeah,
Like, you don't think about it
that's
most of the
true.
time.
Yeah. I usually just like paper over everything. But honestly, like I think a VM with Linux and Mac, because like the drivers are a problem, like the mouse and the keyboard stuff. That is
Mhm.
a bummer. And I guess like Windows solved the Linux issue with like WSL and like here you go devs, like
Yeah.
here's WSL. But like I mean you could just put a VM right on Mac OS and that might solve it. But yeah,
Yeah, but the interesting thing is that the actual like first version. So they switched to a VM now. But the first version of WSL was like an actual Linux kernel running alongside Windows. Like it was like you were dual booting both Windows and Linux at the same time,
Whoa.
more or less. I'm not sure. Um, it had a bunch of drawbacks though, like the file systems. They're still slow, but they were, I think it was even slower back then. If you try to move something from like the Linux part of your computer to your Windows part. But it was really interesting, like how they implemented it. Um, and now it's just a VM, but it's like what makes a difference to me is like the integration. Um, so it's really easy to get set up with it. You have to download something from Microsoft Store, and that's it, right? It's akin to downloading something from the App Store,
Oh, okay.
and yeah, it's really easy to get set up. Like there's no friction whatsoever. Backing something up is like one terminal command, and then you get like a tarball that's just a backup of your whole WSL like VM. And you can
That's pretty
restore it
cool.
anywhere with like onto another different computer with another command.
Interesting. Interesting. I didn't know
So
that about that. Look,
it's really good.
I mean, you, I'm not gonna get one. Like I will say, if you had bought a MacBook Pro, you would have had a totally different experience, though, right?
That's true, because that then you don't have the driver issues.
Yeah,
First of all,
yeah.
like you just use the touchpad. I will say that there's no good Windows laptop. Probably, I think there's no good Windows laptop. But I'm not a laptop user,
Right.
so I'm guessing like the angle I have is just different. I want a good desktop computer, and Apple is like more of a laptop
Yeah.
type of content company.
No, that is true. Their desktops are weak, and like, I mean, what's up with the cheese grater? Like, I don't understand. They keep rolling this thing out, and I'm like, what? What are you doing? It's so stupid.
Yeah, but in terms of laptops, that's true. I mean, the batteries you can probably confirm, right? The battery usage is just insane
Oh, it's
on
incredible.
Mac.
Yeah.
Yeah, so and you don't have that with any other laptop. Windows is trying to catch up. I saw Windows, like Microsoft releasing an ARM box, like a small mini computer, like the Apple M2, Mac Mini M2.
Oh, really?
Um, yeah, and just for developers, it was like a developer preview. And turns out that Mac OS emulating the Windows operating system on the M2 chip was faster than Windows on ARM like natively itself. So if you so Mac was faster at Windows than Windows itself on its own hardware, like on Microsoft provided hard or Microsoft like they pretty much put a stamp on it and said this works great. So Windows is lacking in like Windows is just lacking in terms of anything that's like mini computer, in terms of anything that's gotta be portable, in terms of like laptops and tablets and whatever. There's just no alternative from them, and I don't think there will be for a long time because Mac has just got like Apple has just got it figured out with their hardware at least.
Yeah. Yeah, that is true. Look, I mean, yeah, you're not gonna even. If anything, if I switched from Mac OS, it'd be to Linux, like or BSD or something. I don't know, but like there'd be no way that you can get me back on Windows. Like I'm done with Windows. I'm so done. Even with WSL, I'm like, I don't know. Maybe I'll give it a try. Maybe
I
I'll
mean,
buy
what bad
something.
experiences have you had with it, really?
Windows.
Yeah, with Windows.
I mean,
Why don't
honestly,
you want to
like
get back in?
it's probably just like PTSD from like my C sharp days. Like, I just
Okay,
hate all things Microsoft.
but like, is there anything specific you can remember? Because I have like I've made the list of issues with macOS, the hate list more or less. Is there anything like specific you remember? Because that's what I have trouble doing, right? I can't remember specifics. I can just remember, dude, Microsoft sucks balls. C sharp is ass. Whatever. I'm gonna offend so many people. I'm sorry. This is more like my stream, but
That's fine. That's totally fine. Look, like I don't think there's any people who love Windows on my stream. Like I don't think that's a thing. Maybe we should make that clear. Um, but yeah, I think I can't remember anything specific. I guess like maybe Windows always just worked, except for when I got a BSOD. Which they do they still have that? Isn't like a sad face now or something like a little emoticon or whatever?
I think it was a sad face. I'm pretty sure they changed it again to be even like more simple, saying, "Dude, something's happened. We don't know. Like, let's just do this
Just
then."
reboot. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. No, but okay, wait, hold on. So you don't have anything like super specific that you dislike about it.
I
It's
get
more just like the general experience.
I guess like yeah, like from what I remember, like between the Mac and Windows when I was like doing this, like probably around like 2016, I think is the last time 2017, I think is the last time I used Windows like full time as like my developer machine for C sharp. Um,
Hmm.
I think I was just like the Mac you okay, like the Mac you can leave running for days, like or weeks or months and you never have
Yeah.
to restart it. Windows I always had to reboot it. Like after a little while, like maybe I could get like a day or two out of it, but I would just always reboot it, right? And I wasn't using a laptop either. So I don't know. Yeah, just there's nothing
It was like
specific.
memory leaking just
Yeah,
like
yeah, it was
all
like a
over the place.
yeah, it was like a memory for performance. Like I would like reboot and everything would be Visual Studio would be good to go again. And like that was my that was I was like there's something wrong like in I can't put my finger on it, but there's just something wrong with the like something with Windows is like not going well. It might be like all the device drivers and like all the things they're trying to like do and like
Yeah.
Apple doesn't have that problem because they don't work with keyboards or mice, right? So
Yeah, it just doesn't work.
just like
No. Um, I guess so. I think I've had the same experience, but I haven't had that happen to me in like a long time. I
uh
also don't use Studio. So
oh maybe that's
Visual
what it was.
Studio
Yeah,
is known for like being slow, and they didn't have a 64-bit version of it until like 2019 or 2020.
yeah,
I'm not sure.
yeah,
Um, but if you replicate your Mac experience nowadays, like get Alacrity, get Vim,
yeah.
um, get like Nerd Fonts or whatever, and set all that up, or use Windows Terminal. Windows has like a great terminal emulator. It's honestly really good, the best I've used, even better than iTerm in my opinion. But that's for another day.
Wait, it's is it
Um,
PowerShell? Is that PowerShell still or no?
no, no, no. So terminal emulator is like the is like Alacrity,
Oh, you're talking about the you're not
and
talking about the shell. You're talking about the emulator. Okay,
yeah,
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 yeah. I'm so yeah. Um, so they've got a great one. But regardless, like if you were to replicate your Mac, like what you do in Mac right now, on Windows today, I'm like 90% sure you wouldn't have any issues anymore. Like I think they got their act together a lot in the past couple of years.
The only thing
That
that
said,
the only thing that
yeah.
sells
So
me
go
though
ahead.
is the audio routing stuff. Like that's the only thing where I'm like, shoot, that's way better than Mac. Like,
Yeah.
dang, they
I
can
mean,
actually.
try using a QHD screen and decide for yourself if you. No, see, there's like a lot of little annoyances, but the thing is, I think you might like if you're super used to working on a laptop nowadays, and you've got the trackpad, and you're like you've got all the gestures down with like the
Yeah,
two finger swipes and whatever. You might not have a good experience in Windows because Windows, like Mac OS has trackpads, and they like the whole OS is built around
yeah,
trackpads.
it is.
Windows, like, on the other hand side, it doesn't have mice. Windows has mice and keyboards and supports like all these different monitors, but it doesn't have like proper trackpad support. If you wanted to use it with a stylus or whatever, that wouldn't work quite right. It doesn't have. So this is probably Apple's fault, but it doesn't have like AirDrop or universal control is really nice in Mac OS, and there's
Yeah,
something like it on Windows, but it's not. It's not like it doesn't have the nice little animations. It's probably not going to be as snappy. It's probably not always going to recognize the devices. Like if you've got all Apple, like if everything's Apple and you're used to like the gestures and you're not a desktop guy, like if you're solely a laptop user and you're happy with what you've got, you're probably not going to have a better time on Windows. Like there's no reason for you to change really. I mean, I invite you to try, but if you're happy with what you've got, I also see no reason for you to change. That's when I'll have to give to you.
I think what's really sad though is like most like at least web developers, they buy a MacBook Pro, right? They install
Mhm.
VS Code and they go, sweet,
Yeah.
done. That's it. Like
Pretty much.
I
I
just
mean,
got
you could
JavaScript.
have just got a Chromebook,
I
dude.
know. It's pretty
Uh,
funny. It's sad. But yeah, that's just the state of the industry, I guess. You know?
I think what's sad is the fact that you still have to get a beefy machine for what is otherwise a pretty light environment. Like web pages shouldn't necessarily, like you shouldn't have to get the top of the line Apple computer to properly run like a simple dev server that just serves HTML files, maybe hot reloads when you change something, to get your IDE running that just tells you if something doesn't work right and whatnot. Um, and to display a web page. Like Chromebooks can display web pages just as well as Macs can, but to like anything that's in terms of development, as soon as you enter development, I think like it just goes all out the window and you suddenly need that super beefy machine. And that's fine because developers are expected to have beefy machines, but I think we can also do a lot better on developer tooling, looking at like Next.js, Webpack, all of those things that take a lot. Like they're working on it with Turbo Pack and whatever,
Yeah.
but it's still like way for what we're trying to do here. I think we still require way too many resources, and you should be able to have like all of this stuff run way faster to take up way less memory and whatever.
Yeah. No, I
Same in
totally.
Linux.
Wait, what?
Astro says same in Linux. He has to reboot often.
No, he
This
doesn't
is
need to
as
reboot.
okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it's a
yeah.
Windows issue only. Yeah, okay. Granted, maybe I'm not sure if maybe on laptops that's still a thing. Yeah, but yeah. So like, how do you feel about it? Like have you? Because I'm still a little bit fed up with like a dev server for Next.js taking up to like a minute to start and properly get to run and like saving something takes 10 plus seconds to
Yeah, I
to
mean,
update on my log.
I don't use Next.js. Like, I do Rails at work, but like, Rails is similar. Like, once the project reaches a certain size, it's like unbelievable. Like, we're on Rails 6, and like, it's old, but
Yeah.
like, no, it takes forever to boot up. Like, it takes like 2 to 3 minutes on my
Yeah.
2021 MacBook Pro M1 Ultra or whatever, Turbo, whatever the stupid thing is. Like,
Yeah.
it takes
Yeah.
forever. The tests are not faster either. They take forever. They're parallelized. Like we tried everything, and it's not about the database. Like it's not even. We don't even have the database. It's just yeah, it's a bummer. Like all these dynamic languages. Like at first it feels fast, and then over time you're like, shoot, I just made a huge mistake.
But it's also an issue with Rust. It's not just dynamic languages. Rust has slow compile times, and this is
That
where
is
it
true.
all ties back in together with Go.
It all
See,
comes back
Go
to Go.
has insanely fast compile
Yeah,
times, both in dev and for production. You have very low memory usage, and you have like very fast startups. That's all you want for like you could
that is true.
develop Go in a Chromebook if it had the capabilities. In terms of hardware, it's well over the like it. If you go to VS Code and you start developing Go and your project grows, the language server that's not really Go, but I'm just saying like it's that you can see how they put a great deal of effort into keeping things fast. The language server of Go is the best one I've seen out of all the languages I've used, like Java, C Sharp, Go, Rust, all of those. They take a not like they take a some amount of time up to the point where it's noticeable for me for like suggestions to pop up, and the project takes time to start up and whatever. With Go, I instantly get like as I type it, it's just real time. Like it feels like it's typing with me, and suggestions it gives, it's like even if so say I'm building like I'm calling a function and that takes in a certain struct I've made myself. Um and that struct is like 3 levels deep in another struct. The Go language server will suggest to me like struct A dot struct B dot struct C dot struct D. It'll like take it, it'll traverse all the paths that you could possibly input into that function and give you a suggestion that matches the type of the function you're calling. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that makes sense. That makes sense.
and it does that for like all possible types that could match. So it literally only gives you the stuff that you have in scope that could possibly fit into this function.
Right.
And it gives you like with Rust, it just gives you a crap ton
It does.
of
It does.
yeah.
Yeah.
And there's so the and then if you use Copilot or whatever,
Yeah.
right? If you save your file, um, and so say you're coding, Copilot gives you a suggestion of like 5 lines, and all of those lines contain things you still have to import. With Rust, you have to, like in VS Code at least, I have to go from one error to the next, manually like
Yeah.
import them, or like hit import this and that missing type, and then I probably have to select because there's multiple structs with the same name or whatever, and then I have to manually select what
Yeah.
crate I want to import. With Go, it figures out what you want to import based on the type. Like again, it knows, it can make an educated guess, and if there's multiple things matching, it won't do it. But most of the time, due to the way Go is set up, it knows what to import. So you literally just accept the Copilot suggestion, save, and 99% of the time it'll import the right things. So you never have to even like, for me it's like I have to press Control and dot to bring up the like import from crate blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Right, you never have to do that. It just works. You just type it out, save it, and it auto runs. You have like instant compile times. You have it instantly running with the right, like everything is just tied so nicely together. And you don't have that like anywhere near that experience with Rust, and that's like a huge bummer to me because the language is so much better, but the dev experience just so much worse. And
Yeah.
that's I think the real contention point at this point. But how do you like? What do you feel? Do you have the same, like maybe I'm overreacting a bit. Astrochronal says, "How do you feel about Go syntax?" And I'll just quietly redirect that to you as well, because I think both of those things play into the same like Go dev experience
Yeah. I mean,
thingy.
like
So
the Go syntax, like it got me at first. I was so confused. Like I didn't understand like the colon equals. I was like, what?
mhm.
And but it only took me like 2 seconds to. I was like, what is this? Oh, okay, I get it. And then
Yeah,
like all
yeah,
the little weird things about Go, I'm like, okay, it didn't take me that long, but I did it, like get it too. Um, yeah, I mean the uppercase versus lowercase, like that's weird too. Like instead of saying public or
yeah,
private, but I understood it after a while. Like it's fine. Um, yeah, I guess like for I know what you're saying. Like when I did my little Go project, like it was smooth. Like the language server was incredible. That's actually why I even tried Rust to begin with, because I was like, if Go's language server is this good, that means Rust has got to
mhm,
be even better. But yeah, it turns out
yeah,
that's not the case. Um,
yeah,
um,
yeah,
but yeah, like the Go dev experience is probably the best developer experience like today,
yeah,
and with a language server. Um,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, it's
Not in
definitely
terms of types. Not in terms of
no,
types.
no.
It's not. But
Yeah,
so I think maybe we could say like the Go syntax. Like I saw a comment saying Go didn't succeed because of the language. So because of the syntax and
yeah,
whatever, but because of the tools. Like, but despite the language, pretty much the language is bad, but the tooling around is unmatched,
yeah,
more or less.
yeah.
I'd say.
I wonder if they're related though. Like you have to keep the language simple to like have the tooling be that fast and like the compile times that fast. Like you can't have
Yeah.
macros and Go because the compile times
True.
will go crazy. And like
True.
you can't have a borrow checker either because the compile times will also go insane. So yeah, it's like
Yeah.
all kind of related. I don't know. I like that does tell me on Go a little bit. I think I need to do another Go project just to, like remember like what it was like, because I haven't touched Go since then. So it's been like a
Mm.
year. So I should probably try another one.
I mean, yeah, it kind of depends really. As I said, I wanted to like I did try a Go proof of concept for a project I'm working on, but I found it lacking in the language side of things. Yeah, as we said, pretty much like for example, mutexes, right? You have to remember to add those. If you add a Go, like if you spawn a Go routine and you happen to modify the same slice from both like your current routine and the Go routine you spawn, well, you just introduce a race condition. Your program could crash, could do some very funky things, but not what you want. Probably not what you want. And maybe it's gonna do what you want, but like 5 years down the line, you notice, it's not always been doing what I wanted it to, or something breaks in develop, like in dev, suddenly, or in production actually, because suddenly the timing, like the process you're doing, takes slightly longer than the race condition would have. Yeah, and then shit hits the fan, and you don't know why. So I think what it really comes down to is, if you want to use Go, use it for like smaller services, maybe, I'm not sure, or smaller packages, and make sure that those are like well understood, well tested. Because with Go, it's easy to have a mental model of things, so it's not impossible to have like a safe program. You can totally have like mute, like it's not impossible for me to remember, okay, I'm gonna have to add a mutex there and whatever. um but if I'm writing a program of like humongous size, I'm doing it all myself. um I might have the mental model of it. As soon as you add in teammates, it probably goes haywire. So if you have like smaller teams working on their own packages, and you make sure that they work on their own package only, and they like the team you're with, they all have the right mental model of what they're working on, it's gonna be fine. If you have like all people contributing to one giant Go code base, see like Kubernetes, or whatever, it might not go that well, because Go is like not laid out. It's not gonna prevent you from mucking up from. It's not gonna be your Rust, uh, the leash that Rust gives you, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Does it make
The
sense? Like
guardrails.
I mean, maybe
Guardrails.
that sounds like crazy talk, but
No, that makes sense. Astronaut says, one more thing I hate in Golang. Most of the code is like this: copy from destination to source.
I mean, what do you want it to be? Do you want it to be like source.copy and then like parentheses destination, or what's the actual? Because I'm not.
Yeah, source to destination. Yeah, like it's backwards, right?
But wait, wait, I'm confused. So is
You
that
talking about the standard
like,
library? I guess
I think, right?
yeah, maybe. I don't know. Like I should really do more Go because like I don't know. Um, I honestly forgot. Like I've been doing Rust. Oh, standard libraries. Oh, and other libraries too. Yeah, is that like a convention? Maybe I don't know. That is a
I mean,
bummer though.
it's same as returning error as the first versus the last. Maybe
Yeah.
it would be better to return error as like the first argument, because if you're, that's like the most common denominator. Like all of these APIs that return error have it in common that they return it as the last. If everything's in common, why not just always have it at the first? Because then you could immediately spot if a line could return, like has an error,
Yeah.
right? You didn't say you have like a function that returns 5 things, a tuple of 5. You'd always have to look at where the end of the tuple is
That's
that
true.
you're declaring. If you just have error as the very first thing, I mean, that sounds dumb, but Go being all about like, okay, let's make it easy for like our Go pretty much assumes you're dumb and just makes models the language around you not being the brightest. It just assumes
That's true.
Go is toxic, more or less. But that's what makes or breaks the developer experience. Because I want to be able to be dumb. I just want to get to my pro. Like I don't want to be. I Rust makes me feel smart, but it also makes me care about Rust and not about my problem domain.
Yeah.
So all of these little things that Go could be doing is slightly better. I think those would those would only add to Go. They wouldn't take away from the philosophy. Like having tagged unions is, people are saying, okay, but that's too complicated for Go or whatever. That's not Go's philosophy. I think that would just make for a nicer language. Honestly, it would take away from the mental burden, and that's what Go is trying to do, right?
Right.
Isn't it?
Yeah. I will say like Rust at first appears very complex, but like over time I've come to realize that like the language itself, like I am thinking about the language. You're right. Like I am thinking about the language instead of like the domain or whatever. But like
Yeah,
over time I'm like realizing that the language and the domain are like like Rust is so like comprehensive that like the language and the domain can like sort of fit together. Like so
that's true.
like routes for example, like you could model things as enums. Like all
Mm,
the things like they're language level things, but like they're also domain. It's like really weird. It's like it's more like Lisp than like any other thing
yeah.
that I've used, at least for static typing. So yeah, like I know what you're saying. Like I do think about the language, but now I'm like, how can this domain fit into the language? It's like a weird inverse thing where like instead of the language getting out of your
Yeah.
way, it's like the language is like sort of morphing into the like part of
The
the like the
language
traits and
is your way.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Exactly.
No, I get it. I
Yeah.
get it. I
Yeah.
mean, maybe that's not such a bad thing though, right? Because Go gets out of your way with types. Rust is types. Like most of my
Right.
Rust code is type related and not actual, like I'm doing something. Function calls are, I would say, the minority of things I'm doing in Rust. Like
It's
most of the
true.
things are struct declarations, macros,
Yeah.
whatever. Um, and I mean, is that necessarily bad? It's a lot of code. It's like a lot of code that doesn't do much, but in the end, like I feel I'm still writing the same amount of code because it kind of, how do I put it? It still does the things behind the scenes that I wanted to. Like if I use Axum, for example, that's a lot of library code running behind what I'm trying to do. But if I use their extractors, for example, the JSON thing, me declaring or me unmarshalling, deserializing, whatever you want to call it, JSON, is literally just me passing the struct into it
Hey, yeah.
and adding like deserialize at the like, top of the struct.
Yeah.
In Go, I have to manually call the deserialize function. And then I have to provide it with like a pointer to the, like I have to declare a variable that takes in the struct that it's going to deserialize. It's just like one extra step, right?
Yeah.
Then I have to check the error. I have to do that with the rest as well, but most of the time I can just use the little question mark
Yeah.
operator.
Yeah.
And where like it's like all of those cases where I'm just declaring types that aren't like actual code that doesn't do anything in practice. All of those times Rust does something smart with it to kind of take away from the actual like burden of doing something. Like doing something is easier because of the types, whereas in Go you just have to do it yourself. You don't have to write nearly as much type related stuff, but you're gonna have to do much more. Like the actual function calling thing is just like you have to declare the extra thing you have, like if error equals not equals nil, and then return and wrap
Yeah.
the error and all of that. Like the actual burden of work is shifted from the type system to the code you're calling. Like problems just become a code problem instead of a type problem.
Yeah. Yeah. It like Rust is like weirdly starting to get like declared. Like I'm just declaring like types and traits and things are just
Yeah.
happening. I'm just like, whoa, okay, cool, I guess.
Yeah.
Like sweet. Yeah.
Sweet,
Well,
it kind of it works. I mean,
it does work. Look, we didn't come to a conclusion, but I'm gonna try
yeah, no,
more
we have a
Go.
conclusion. We
What
have a conclusion.
what's the conclusion?
The conclusion is use Rust. Use Rust, and if everybody were to use Rust, right? If everybody used it, then we wouldn't have juniors being confused with Rust. I could just introduce Rust at my company and be done with it. But here's the thing: since we don't live in a perfect world, if you want to get started with a project quickly, or you have like small packages to work with, if you're working on microservices or network stuff where everything is like packaged very nicely, you could work in your own team, or it's just a one-man show, then use Go, because it's never gonna be that perfect world. That's my conclusion to it. That's at least.
That's true. Yeah.
Does that make sense?
That's true.
Like
That makes sense. Honestly,
Yeah.
like we just have to all get together and make our perfect language. Like we just have to take Rust and like put in like Zig allocators, and that would be done. That's it.
Yeah,
Perfect.
that's true. That's true. And we just abolish Go and C and all the other languages. We just so that's I think that's where Rust evangelism comes from, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. It's true. Well, I got to get out of here. I'm sure you have things to get to too, but yeah,
Yeah,
hey,
I do. But this was great.
yeah,
Thanks for like having me on.
I appreciate you coming on. Like this is so cool. Like it's just cool to have like a different perspective, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's sweet.
Same here. Same here. If you ever want to do this again, like hit me up. but but yeah, it's been really fun, and I'll try more Rust. You'll try more Go. Maybe we'll learn a thing or two.
Yeah, we'll just meet in the middle, you
Um,
know?
yeah, meet in the middle. Maybe we'll come out on the other side and both be happy with whatever choice we took in the end, right?
That's true.
Yeah, have a great day, y'all. Thanks for watching.
Yeah.
And meet me over at twitch.tv/merlindru. That's twitch.tv/merlindru.
Oh, and Twitter too. You got to follow on Twitter.
Oh yeah, and Twitter. You gotta follow me. Like this is obligatory, mandatory. You just
You have to.
follow
You
button.
just click the button.
All right. Just click on the button. All right. Take care, all. Bye.
Yeah, bye.